All right, so let's do what are y'all growing? End of the year, I guess, winter version. To show you how well the things hold up in winter here in Arizona. I'm in Arizona City, so it's a little bit colder than like Phoenix, for example. But we didn't even get a freezing night, or whatever you call it, when you have to like cover your shit at night. So here is, you guys can go to the first one if you want to see the progress from the beginning of the year to now. But look at the avocado tree. It is perfectly shielded by these massive papaya trees. I highly suggest going to Baker Creek Seeds and buying the, I believe they're called like Sweet Papaya David or something, and they're like that big. You can also go to the first video and see how big they are. They grew this in like 6 months. And look at this. Look at the papaya still growing all up the tree. Oh, there you go. Perfect. That's a avocado I grew from seed. I'll probably put that in the ground. It seems like this cluster here, everything protects everything. So like, because there's so much stuff going, the winds aren't but really bothering any of these plants. So I'll put the other avocado here and just let it grow in a big old mess. Here are the moringa trees. They're not even really losing too many leaves. This is a little crooked because we had a windstorm the other day. The eggplant, still, stop it from no. Still kicking ass. This is the same, I think it's the Ichiban. I bought it as a starter from Lowe's 2 years ago. I don't even like eggplant, but it grows so many of them, so I just leave it. That one's still growing. Look at this one. Stop it. The yellow pear tomato. I actually don't put any tomatoes on this side, but it seems to be liking it. Look at this thing. It's one plant. Isn't that crazy? All my peppers are still producing. Look at this sucker. These are the sweet Italian ones I also got from like Lowe's or Home Depot a couple years ago. This is an overproducer. Look how many. I don't know if you can see this. These are super sweet too, by the way. All the different jalapenos are still growing. It's orange. Regular green, but I let them go red. I just picked a whole gallon bag of these the other day too. You can see, look, bell peppers. Oh, look. This is that sweet orange one. I'm gonna take all this wooden shit out and I think I'm gonna get rid of this one. It's really pretty, these peppers. You eat them fresh too, they are, but they turn like an ugly cream color when you pickle them or do anything with them. So everything's pretty much growing here. You can see the peppers, poblanos, look. And it's just December, I believe it's New Year's Eve, 31st. I just picked most of these and made that's that peach one. Made the hot sauce. But see, so I moved some stuff around and now I'll have some extra space. I'm still growing tomatoes over here. I wouldn't put tomatoes here, but I put one and it seems to like it, so I just leave it. This is one of those Better Bush, I think, from like Home Depot. I mean, everything's pretty much growing. Look at this. Look at this moringa. So I'll trim everything too, but not until it warms up a little. Look at the artichokes. They love this weather. I grow these. They are so easy to grow. And they're so pretty when they're in flower. I took some of the extra moringa trees out and put them in my front yard. Some citrus. Those blue agave, they're massive. My bananas are all still alive, which is crazy. So if I can keep them alive through this winter, that means they'll fruit. So I'm gonna trim them, but not until, like I said, after it's colder or after it's warmer. So that's the ice cream banana one. So, but see, the middle one's good. So, I mean, we'll see how it works, but you can see pretty much everything is growing. If you have trees, you know, in front of everything, it like shields it from the winter and the summer. My roses are still growing. The plumeria. No, I lost this one in winter, one of these in winter last year, but it was out in the middle of the open. So this one's over here in this little nook. These roses are still doing good. My loofahs are still growing. See, there's a papaya too, and it was planted around the same time, but see how small that one is? And this one, you know, the conditions aren't as like favorable out here in the open like they are over there. That's the never eat. Shit. That's west. Never eat shit. Okay, so that's the the northeast corner. It's early. Okay. This eggplant, it's those white eggplants. They're also gross, but they're so cute. Look, they get bigger than that too, like a softball. I don't know what to do with them because they're so nasty, so I just dry them. And then, you know, you can add them to like soups or something. But you see, so I made sure I planted a moringa tree in front of every tree so that this next year coming up, this will be big because they grow so fast, and it'll shield these trees from the sun and the wind. Because see, this one took a beating, this peach tree. The wind must come straight here. So, Eleanor, stop it. So it'll do better next year. Same with like this one. There's this other peach tree. So I don't know if you can see that. See that little stick right here? That's in another moringa. But it'll be big like this, you know? And so see how that shields that banana? And then see how there's nothing in front of this banana, and this one looks way better. So I'll put one in front of this one also. Anyway, that's what I've been doing, is just putting moringa trees like where they should be. I'm sure I'll put one here at some point for this one. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. You guys can see how everything's growing with cactus. Oh, and I meant to tell you, when you grow lettuce, let it go to seed. I'm sure in one of the videos I showed you what it looks like when it goes to seed. It bolts up and then it gets these little seed pods. Just leave it alone. The wind will blow the seed pods all over your yard. And then as soon as the weather is like right, you're just gonna grow lettuce everywhere. The dogs, you know, step on everything. But you see it? I don't know if you can see this. Look. See this? That's the Little Jim romaine lettuce, just growing everywhere. And apparently it grew last year without even like water in most places. It just grows. But look, so yeah. Just let it go to seed and do whatever it wants, and it just grows everywhere. Look, that's not Little Jim. That's I can't remember what it's called, but it's also good lettuce. And see, it took ta-da! And then I'll let all of this grow seed, and then you'll have even more next year. So your herbs, obviously, parsley seems to love summer and winter. I just cut this down too. That's dill. More artichokes, okay? They're so pretty. This is the little pepper plant that I make that fermented hot sauce with. I don't even know what it is. So if one of you knows. See, it makes these little small ones. This thing just grows. So it lasted summer, winter. That's a miniature bell pepper plant. I moved it from over there. It serves no purpose, and I hate cutting these off. It's too much work. But it's so pretty when it's full. So, you know. But look, even some small tomatoes that I planted, they're still holding up. My yard is, nothing's died really. Not really. The Asian pear looks pretty good. The Hong Kong orchid Oh, my tomatillos look like shit. But it's still alive. So as long as it stays alive, it's probably going to be really great next year. The grapes are still alive, and weirdly enough, look, they're producing. Isn't that weird? So if they grew, this was one stick. If it grew this much this year, can you imagine? This whole thing's going to be covered next year. This is another grape. Oh, these are doing well in the winter. Chickpeas. I grew some. You can just plant dried chickpeas that you have in your house, and they grow. See? There's 2 chickpeas in each pod. I think it's a pretty plant. I wouldn't grow it necessarily for chickpeas. You know how many you'd have to peel to make a pound of chickpeas? It's like $1 for them, so that's definitely, beans is something I haven't done yet. But you can see, look at this moringa. Anyway, I'll trim all this stuff and make it look tidy. This is a volunteer. Even this one is supposed to be frost sensitive. I'm pretty sure it's called a red hummingbird. These things are beautiful. I planted a bunch of seeds last year and they all died. And then this one came up, so I just left it. But they're supposed to be frost sensitive and it's still doing pretty good. I haven't covered anything. My bamboo is kicking ass. Yeah. Let's see. My olive tree is finally growing pretty fast now. Yeah, everything is doing. Look at this. So carrots obviously love this weather, and beets. So there's 2 kinds of fancy carrots in here, and red and yellow beets. And then I can't put a lot of fruit and stuff over here because the critters, the rabbits and things, come over here and eat all my stuff. But so this moringa blew down in the storm, and then I just put it back in the ground and put this ladder. So as long as it can hold itself up, it'll reroot and be fine. You just can't fucking kill these trees. I'm not kidding. And then the moringas, so they're loaded with the seed pods. Eat these, grow this. I'm not kidding. These are so good for you. They're loaded with vitamins. I actually want to try and, what's the word I'm looking for? Ferment them. I personally prefer them when they're fresh like this. They're nowhere near as disgusting as when they're dry. They taste like shit when they're dry. It's so hard to swallow. I think it's a Barbados or a Jamaican cherry, one of the 2, I can't remember. That thing's doing fine. And this moringa, I showed y'all last time. I planted the same time and it just never seems to grow. But look, it's finally growing. So, yeah, that's it. I mean, look, it's not a... My yard is messy and it looks terrible, right? But it's not really that bad for being December 31st, right? Yeah, so I'll do another video in like February. Oh, look at this one. These seem to do really well in this weather too. That's that pink guava. I showed y'all, I bought it off of Etsy. It was like this tiny stick. I didn't even think it'd grow. And look at that sucker. So, yeah. I don't know. And that was this is an apricot tree. These grow really good here. This fruited in 1 year. It looks terrible right now, but it was the size of where that string is when I first bought it. And then in 1 year, it grew this big, right? And it fruited. But the front yard is where it was at, and the front yard is so much harsher than the backyard. So I moved it and put it in the ground, and I think it's alive, but we'll see. But I'll show you if it flowers, how pretty that thing is. They look like cherry blossoms. Okay, yeah, I'll show you guys in another month or 2.